Most people perform well in practice. Quiet environment, no pressure, plenty of time. But when the stakes rise, everything changes. Heart rate increases, hands shake, thoughts scatter. The same person who solved problems easily yesterday suddenly makes simple mistakes. Athletes miss easy shots. Students forget answers they studied for hours. Professionals freeze during important presentations. Why does this happen? Because pressure exposes weak cognitive systems. Elite performers understand something most people never realize. Success under pressure is not about confidence. It is about preparation systems. They design routines, habits, and mental structures that keep their brain stable when stress appears. When the moment becomes difficult, their system takes over. Chapter 1. The Automation Principle. The first thing elite performers do is reduce the number of decisions they must make under pressure. When the brain faces stress, it loses cognitive capacity. Working memory shrinks. Attention narrows. Decision-making becomes slower. This is why complex thinking collapses in high-pressure moments. Elite performers solve this by automating key actions before the pressure begins. Pilots follow checklists. Surgeons follow surgical protocols. Athletes repeat specific movement patterns thousands of times. Through repetition, actions become automatic. Instead of thinking about each step, the brain executes the routine instantly. Automation protects performance because it removes the need for conscious decision-making when stress is highest. Chapter 2. The Routine Shield. Elite performers rely on routines to stabilize their mind. Before competitions, athletes perform the same preparation rituals: breathing exercises, warm-up sequences, mental visualization. These routines create familiarity. Familiarity reduces anxiety. The brain recognizes the pattern and enters a focused state. Psychologists call this a performance routine. It acts like a mental trigger that signals the brain to switch into execution mode. Tennis players bounce the ball the same number of times before serving. Basketball players repeat the same movements before free throws. Speakers rehearse their opening lines before stepping on stage. The routine creates a psychological shield against pressure. Chapter 3. Stress Training. Another difference between average performers and elite performers is exposure to stress during training. Most people practice in perfect conditions: quiet rooms, low stakes, comfortable environments. Then they expect to perform well under extreme pressure. Elite performers train differently. They simulate pressure before it happens. Athletes practice in front of crowds. Musicians rehearse difficult passages repeatedly until mistakes disappear. Pilots train in flight simulators that recreate emergencies. By exposing the brain to stressful conditions during training, the mind becomes familiar with pressure. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Stress becomes another part of the environment instead of a threat. Chapter 4. Cognitive Reset. Even the best performers experience mistakes during high-pressure moments. The difference is how quickly they recover. Elite performers use mental reset techniques: short breathing cycles, brief focus cues, simple internal phrases. These tools interrupt panic and restore attention. A tennis player misses a shot and immediately focuses on breathing before the next serve. A surgeon pauses briefly to reset focus before continuing a procedure. A speaker forgets a line and calmly moves to the next point. These resets prevent one mistake from triggering a chain reaction of errors. The brain regains stability before performance collapses. Chapter 5. System over Emotion. The final principle elite performers follow is simple. They trust the system more than their emotions. When pressure rises, emotions become unreliable. Fear appears, doubt appears, but the system remains stable. Training routines, preparation methods, execution steps. Elite performers follow the system regardless of how they feel. Because the system has been tested repeatedly, emotion changes moment by moment. Systems remain consistent. That consistency is what protects performance. Chapter ending. When you combine these principles, the cognitive system becomes clear. Automate important actions through repetition. Use routines to stabilize the mind. Train under stressful conditions before real pressure appears. Develop quick mental resets for mistakes. Trust the system instead of emotional reactions. Elite performers do not rely on motivation when the stakes are high. They rely on preparation systems strong enough to hold their performance together. While others panic, their system continues to operate. And that is often the difference between success and collapse. But there is one final layer elite performers build on top of these systems. They train their ability to think clearly in chaotic environments. In the next video, you will see how top performers develop decision-making speed when information is incomplete and time is limited. Watch it next and you will understand how experts stay calm and effective even in the most unpredictable situations.